welcome to today's On This Day in Tudor History. I'm Claire Ridgway. I write Tudor history books and I also run the Tudor Society website and the Anne Boleyn Files blog as well. So I'm a bit of a Tudor history nerd. Now, in yesterday's talk, I introduced you to the Prayer Book Rebellion, a famous rebellion in the reign of King Edward VI. It took place in the summer of 1549, and I shared an account with you of the awful Battle of Clyst St Mary, which ended up with the Crown's forces massacring the rebels. An awful thing to happen. And today I'm actually staying with the Prayer Book Rebellion, because we have another battle from that rebellion being an On This Day in Tudor History event. The 6th of August 1549 was the day of the Battle of Clyst Heath. Now, upon hearing news of the massacre of the rebels from the previous day, 2,000 more rebels decided to make their way to Clyst Heath to help with the rebellion. This was where John Russell, Earl of Bedford, and Lord William Grey were camped. So these rebels decided to sort of march on Clyst Heath, and they opened fire on the Crown's forces. Now, the battle lasted all day, but the rebels were defeated in the end. 18th century historian John Hooker wrote of the battle: "The rebels which lay about Exeter, hearing of the many defeats given to the malcontents, their neighbours, assembled together as many men as they could raise, and in all haste came to Clyst Heath, and on the lower side thereof, next the highway, entrenched themselves and fortified a place fast by a hedge, where they secretly planted their ordnance in the night, and put all things in readiness, being resolved to abide the brunt. At break of day, having therefore discharged their pieces against the army encamped upon the top of the hill, the lords and captains, the sooner to end the quarrel, determined to give the onset. Accordingly, they divided themselves into 3 parts, every one having his proper place assigned him. Lord Russell, having no way open before him, caused his pioneers to cut through the hedges of enclosed grounds, by which means he at length came upon the very back of the enemy. And they were so entrapped on every side that they could not any way escape, but must either yield or fight. The one they would not, and in the other they prevailed not, though indeed they fought most stoutly, nor would give out as long as life and limb lasted, so that few or none were left alive. Great was the slaughter, and cruel was the fight, and such was the valour of these men, that the Lord Grey declared that he never, in all the wars that he'd been, knew the like." So that sounds an awful bloody battle as well, I'm afraid. Sorry to have to give you 2 really awful battles, one after the other. And I apologise for the sound effects. Yes, we've got lots of noise outside, but I think it adds to the ambience. You can imagine the battle going on in the background there, the rebels and the Crown's forces. Now, the Earl of Bedford, after winning this battle, after defeating the rebels, then marched on to Exeter. Now, if you remember from yesterday's talk, I said about how the city of Exeter had been under siege, a siege which lasted for just over 5 weeks. So he marched on to Exeter, planning to relieve the city from its siege. And the final battle of this Prayer Book Rebellion was the Battle of Sandford Courtenay, which took place on the 17th of August 1549. Again, the rebels were defeated, and those who survived that battle fled to Launceston Castle, where they were captured and then taken to the Tower of London. So as much as these rebels wanted to rise up against the Crown and to rise up against the religious legislation of King Edward's reign, they were sadly for them, but thankfully for the Crown, defeated completely, and those that did survive were imprisoned. So that's the Prayer Book Rebellion of summer 1549. A lot of discontent in the counties of Cornwall and Devon with all of these religious changes taking place after the awful religious changes, the dissolution of the monasteries, which had had such an impact on England, on its landscape and on its social kind of structure in King Henry VIII's reign. So I wonder if I can bring you something happier tomorrow. You'll just have to wait and see. You can subscribe to this channel by clicking round about there. You can hit the bell to be notified as videos go live. You can give this video a like as well. All of that helps other people to find these videos and to enjoy these tidbits of Tudor history on a daily basis. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.